Welcome to today's live stream. We're really glad you've chosen to be with us. Just a few things before we get started. If you haven't already, please introduce yourself and let us know where you're tuning in from using the chat window. Now, the chat window is also a great place to interact with others who are on the stream today with you, so feel free to respond to anything that others post just by clicking the reply link underneath their comment. Lastly, we want to make sure that we help you with any questions you have, so you can drop a question in the chat window starting right now. We'll pause a couple of times on the stream to answer any questions that have been asked. So again, thanks for tuning in today, and we'll get started in just a bit. Well, hello. It's Monday. It's a different kind of Monday. Happy Labor Day to all of you joining us. I hope that you all are with your families or your friends or you're around the barbecue grill right now. But Kevin and I still wanted to show up and help with Monday mindset. So Kevin DeShazo, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. It's always a good day to get better, right? Even on a holiday, it's a good day to get better.
Absolutely. I hope you have big plans after this with your family. Tell me what you're doing.
Just rest. My wife and I, it's our anniversary this week. And so we got away the last couple of days, spent some time with family, had a night away at a hotel dinner. And today's just rest. Our boys are off school today and tomorrow. So looking forward to some, as we would say, some first gear recharge and some third gear connection with the family.
Awesome. Well, good. How many years have you been married?
14
Wow.
years she has put up with me. It's pretty incredible.
That's great. That's a huge accomplishment. Way to go. You married up. I know that for sure.
Amen. No question about that.
Well, welcome everyone. I see several people here on the chat with us. So if you're just joining us, please, whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or the giant platform, let us know. Eric's here from San Diego. Hello. Joanne from Los Angeles. Glad you guys are here. So today I'm excited about the topic. Tell us what we're going to talk about. I know it's about the power of belief. So go ahead and get started, Kevin.
That's right. Number one, Eric, you're winning. You're joining us from San Diego. So already jealous. Hope you're doing well in San Diego. But this idea, I've been really captivated by this idea of belief over about the past year and a half, and really how belief drives behavior. And so I want to start off looking at from a personal level, what you believe shapes how you behave in a good or a bad way. And so let's say you have a goal, a vision, you want to lose 30 pounds, you want to run a marathon. Whatever it may be, if you believe in that goal, you're going to do the work to create that vision, to make that vision come alive. If your belief is up here, your behaviors are going to rise to that level of belief so that you can make that come to fruition. If you don't really believe in it, your behaviors are going to fall, right? If your level of belief is down here, your behaviors are going to fall to your level of what I would say your level of unbelief. And so when you start off, most of us, when we start off towards a goal or a vision, we're really excited. Let's say a New Year's resolution, right? We're going to go to the gym every day. We're going to lose 30 pounds. We're going to run a marathon. And early on, you're fired up. And then you miss a couple of days. And all of a sudden, your level of belief starts to fall. And that voice of doubt, that voice of negativity starts to creep in. You're like, you know what? I knew I couldn't do this. I knew it was too difficult. I knew it was too much. I knew this wasn't for me. Somebody else should have been going after this goal. I knew it wasn't going to happen anyway. And so as soon as that adversity hits, you bail, right? Belief looks for a way forward, but doubt looks for a way out. And so when we don't really believe, when we're full of doubt in ourselves and in this vision, when things get difficult, we bail. We look for a reason to quit and say, you know what, it wasn't going to work anyway. Now, I knew it was a bad idea. I knew it was a bad goal. But if you believe, you're still going to hit that adversity, right? We're all going to face adversity. We're all going to face setbacks and obstacles and moments of frustration. But if you believe in yourself, if you believe that vision of you is possible, then you keep going. You realize, hey, it's just a couple days. It's no big deal. Hey, I just had a bad run. Everyone has bad runs. This is part of the process, right? Part of the process is overcoming and powering through difficult days. It doesn't mean we're a failure. It doesn't mean the goal is too big. It doesn't mean that we're not good enough. It just means we're on the path, right? There is no path. There is no resistance on the path to mediocrity. There is no resistance on the path to not getting better, on the path of comfortable. But when we're trying to get better, when we're trying to do things that matter, we're going to face resistance. And if you believe in yourself and you believe in that vision, then you will keep going. But when you doubt, you look for ways out, right? Your behaviors either rise to your level of belief or they fall to your level of unbelief. Tracy, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm just thinking about teams. Tell me how this can relate to someone at work who's got a team and maybe they're heading toward a goal or a vision. How would you describe that?
That's right. That's a great question. And when you think about teams and organizations, we're pursuing some vision. Most teams are. The great teams are pursuing something, right? They have this vision, this desired reality that they're chasing. And you have to also realize that everything we're using, everything around, this microphone, this computer, the table I'm sitting at, the office, the building, the car I drove in on, my house, everything started because somebody believed it was possible. Right? Every organization, every product, someone said, I can do that. That needs to happen, and I can be the one to make it happen. And maybe thousands of people had the ideas, but one or two believed in it and actually brought it to fruition. And so when you look at teams, we have this vision that we're pursuing, this vision that we're running toward. And so from your team perspective, number one, you have to believe in that vision. Right? If you don't believe in the vision of your team, of your organization, if you don't believe, let's just use sports, for example. If you don't believe you can be a championship level team, you're never going to put in championship level behavior. that you're not going to bring your best each day because you don't think it's really going to happen anyway. You think, gosh, this coach is crazy. We're not like, what is he talking about? And so your behaviors fall, right? You don't do the things that champions do. You do the things that average players and average teams do. And so number one, if you don't believe in that team vision, you're not going to give your best each day. And the same thing from a personal level, on a team level, is when you face moments of adversity as a team, if you don't believe in it, you bail on the vision, right? You say, you know what, I knew this was too hard. Championship, I knew this was crazy talk anyway. And you look for a way out. But you also have to believe in the people around you, because being on teams is about fighting for the person to your left and to your right, not fighting against them, but fighting for them. And if I don't believe in the people around me, I'm not going to fight for them. If I don't believe they can help us become a championship level team, or if I don't believe they can help us get to this level as a team or as an organization, my behavior toward them is going to fall. I'm not going to communicate with them as much. I'm not going to commit to them. I'm not going to connect with them. My expectations for them are going to fall, just like my behaviors toward them fall. But if I believe in their best, if I believe that they are capable, then I fight for them. I say, hey, I know this vision seems crazy, but we can get there. And I go back to one of the stories we told, it may have been last week, talking about the guys who are running. It's like, we don't get tired, right? Because like the guy believed in the person that he was with. He's like, I know who you are. I'm going to call you up because I believe in you, which means I'm going to fight for you. And so when you believe in people, your behaviors toward them change. If you don't believe in people, right? Relationships fall apart because you don't believe that it's going to last. Teams fall apart because you don't believe in the people that you're with. And so our behaviors are, I think, directly shaped by our level of belief in a person. If we don't believe, we look at all their mistakes in the past and we let that define who they are. So saying, I know that's happened, but I can actually see your potential and I want to help you unlock it. I'm willing to fight for you. And you look at this kind of COVID situation that everyone's been facing. There's been a lot of situations where people, let's stay on the sports theme. Back in March and April, no sports for 2020. There was a large group saying sports will never happen, shut it all down, it's all done. Well, this weekend, there was professional golf, professional basketball, professional baseball, college football. There was a number of sports taking place. Why? Because people believed it could happen. And they said it may not look how it used to look. It may not look how we want it to look, but belief finds a way forward. And they found a way forward, and sports on some level are back. And so other teams, though, COVID hit and they got frustrated. Instead of fighting for each other, they fought against each other because they didn't believe in the vision and they didn't believe in each other. And those cracks that were probably already there turned to massive fractures, and teams and organizations fell apart.
That's so true. So true. So I was thinking about my personality and the way I am. I'm super practical minded and I have to make lists and things like that. And so I know for me, when it comes to mindset, when I'm getting ready to make a big decision, or if there's something at work that's a big project or something, if I'll up front write those things down, why we're doing it, what's the vision, what's the goal, why am I doing that, why did I come to that decision, and it's written down, then I can go back and refer to it when times get tough or when I'm starting to doubt the process or what I was thinking we were doing. I'm not going to get into details about a very hard decision my husband and I made years ago, but it was a really hard decision. And there was a lot of prayer on our part and a lot of pros and cons we were weighing. And so when we finally went ahead with the difficult decision, I remember us saying, we have to write this down because when it gets hard, when we start to doubt ourselves on our decision, we want to go back and remember the reasons why. And so if you're like me, if you're kind of on the practical thinker side, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, and that's a great way to re-stir up your belief, right? Because when I say this, that belief drives behavior, that doesn't mean that you're always up here, right? Like we're humans. We have off days. There are times, even when we want to believe, that we doubt a little bit. And I think that's just a really practical, right? We've been talking a lot of 30,000 foot, like belief matters, right? Belief drives us forward. Well, what happens when you don't believe? You have to go back to when you initially believed. Why did we do this? Why did I start? There was something, we counted the cost of this and decided this was worth it. It's still worth it, but when we get in those moments, again, whatever you're pursuing, you're going to face adversity and obstacles, and it's going to get difficult. That doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It might, but that doesn't always mean that you're on the wrong path and that you should give up, that you should quit, that you should bail. It might just mean that you need to re-engage with your level of belief and say, wait a minute, why did I start this? What are we? Oh, right. Yeah, that's still true. I still believe that. And that can kind of re-energize you to keep running, to keep climbing, to keep moving forward on this path.
Yeah, I mean, great example is you and your wife celebrating 14 years this week. You know, that's why people renew their vows, right? It's like, let's go back. Let's remember, not that you guys have forgotten, but, you know, we do that. We have to say, what was it about her? What was it about him that I chose them out of all the people in the world? Let's go back and think about that. And so if we can revisit those things, it reminds you, okay, yeah, here we go. We can do this, right?
That's right. And we had some of those conversations last night over dinner of, we always want to talk about like what attracted you to me, or what kind of stirred this up? What made you think I was the one? What do you remember about our early days? But also we ask questions like, what do you love most about being married to me? And and our life has been pretty good. We've had I would say a pretty easy marriage, like everyone else. There are challenges, there are ups and downs, but I think we've had a lot more peaks than valleys, because we do have these types of conversations where we are consistently reminding each other of like, yeah, this is why I chose you. This is why you chose me. And I believe in you. I believe in us. And that level of belief shapes how we act towards each other. It shapes how we live. And I know some of this, we've talked about it before on the Monday Mindset. Like, I know some of this can kind of sound cheesy, but I would say, what's the alternative? Right? And because you are going to face battles. And Jeremy uses this phrase all the time, and I love it. He said, do not partner with the enemy to take yourself out with negative unbelief. And phrase the enemy however you want to phrase it. It's obstacles, it's resistance, it's adversity. However you want to frame the enemy, like there is a force trying to take you out with your unbelief, trying to take you out from the things that you've committed to. And so when you face that adversity, it's like, do you still believe? If you do, game on, let's run.
Okay, so hard question. What if you don't? What if things have changed in your head? What if your team was going this direction and you were all in, but now you're thinking, I don't know that I agree with that anymore. What do you do with that?
Yeah, you have to evaluate things, because sometimes there are seasons of change, right? And so don't hear me saying, never give up on something, never change directions, just be stubborn and keep going down the wrong path, because that's just going to lead to destruction. You may learn some things along the way, but I think at some point we have to always be evaluating, are we still going the direction that I thought we were going? And do I still agree with this direction? And if you're not going the direction you thought you're going, then it's a bigger conversation like, hey, where are we going? I thought we were going this way. It feels like we're going this way. Because teams get distracted, right? The shiny new thing, adversity, all sorts of stuff, personalities, we get distracted. But if you're realizing, wait a minute, I don't agree with this vision anymore. It doesn't mean I hate it or I think it's unethical, but it's like, this is not where I wanted to be. Then I think you have to make a change. You know, we talk about vision alignment all the time. And alignment really with teams, it's not about the right people on the right seats in the bus. It's do I know the vision and do I believe in it? And do I know my role and do I believe in it? Well, if I don't believe in the vision of this team or this organization anymore, then I'm doing the organization and myself a disservice by continuing to show up and pursue a thing that I don't agree with. And so I think at that point, it's healthy to make a change. It doesn't mean you're angry with someone, doesn't need to be a bitter thing, but just to say, you know what, like I'm not about this anymore. And that's okay. But to be willing to be honest with yourself and those around you. Otherwise, you're going to just keep choosing to go to a place that you disagree with and pursuing a vision that you disagree with. And that's just going to create bitterness. Like you're going to get bitter towards people and create disconnect. And because you haven't communicated it, nobody knows what's going on. And so it's just going to cause a lot of unnecessary drama.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And I would say too, just because you're not always on board with the vision doesn't mean you can't still be for those people. You know,
absolutely.
You have to separate yourself. You can have, like you said, a real discussion and share your concerns or whatever, whatever it is in you. It doesn't mean you have to turn your back on all of those people, right? It's the same in a family or in a relationship, in a marriage. you have to pivot, right, at
Yep.
times, but you're still on board with that person. And so,
Yep. That's
yeah.
great.
So I love here what Luke just made a comment as an ENFJ. This seems to be such a vital point when I get overwhelmed and forget the drive that made me start in the first place. Excellent point.
I love it. And again, it's so easy to get overwhelmed with all the details, with all the work, with all the pressures, with all the expectations. But there, again, going back, there was a reason that you started, and that reason probably wasn't wrong, right? Like that reason got you out of bed in the morning, got you excited. It's like, I'm going to chase this thing. And just because you don't feel it today doesn't mean it's not real. Your feelings get in the way of a lot of things, and we shape our day around the way we feel. It's like, well, we shouldn't ignore our feelings because that's not healthy, but to acknowledge and recognize those feelings and say, yeah, I'm feeling stressed and burnt out and frustrated and exhausted, but this is still true as well, right? Both things can exist. And if you can remember that why and re-stir up that belief, then it gives you better perspective on the frustration and the obstacles that you're actually facing. It's like, oh, yeah, this is just part of it. Because again, we've said this before, but if you've signed up to get better, right? If you've signed up to, like, whatever your vision that you're pursuing, it should be, I don't want to say scary, but like it should require more of you than you're comfortable with, right? It should cause you to be like, cool, do I have this in me? Because if it's easy, it's like you're going to get there and then life's going to get really complacent. You're like, well, this wasn't really worth pursuing in the first place. But if you have this big vision, it should stir up some like butterflies in your stomach. Like, all right, let's find out if I've got this in me, if this is really who we are. And so when you have that belief, it shifts your perspective in those moments of like, no, this is actually what I signed up for. I signed up for hard days. I signed up for adversity. And we talk about climbing Everest all the time. Nobody climbs Everest like they go for a walk in the park. They know what they're signing up for, but they've got that vision like, no, I'm getting to the top. I signed up for, to lose my mind a little bit. I signed up for lack of oxygen. I signed up for freezing cold weather. That's part of what I signed up for, but I still believe I can get to the top.
That's great. Yeah, because I was thinking we live in such a quick fix drive-through society where we get things really quickly. And so when the going gets tough and you go, gosh, I don't know if this is worth it, our vision fades and our mindset goes. And so, yeah, you're right. It just needs to be that reminder. This is what I signed up for. I knew it would take this long. I knew it was going to be hard. And of course, surrounding yourself with people that can cheer you on and support you and remind you of the vision and remind you of why you're doing it. That's all those things have to be in place. So,
which is another great point, right? You want people around you that believe in you. And that will remind you of those things, who will stir like you. I think part of a leader's job is to stir up belief in others. But you want people around you who, like, when you are frustrated, they see you and they will call you up, say, no, this is who you are. I still believe in you. Like, because there are days that you're not going to believe in yourself, and that's okay. So again, don't hear this as a perfectionist thing. It's just almost a consistent evaluation. Like, where's my level of belief today? Because I also fully believe that, like, we were made to be great. And I don't mean great to mean like be a millionaire, have an amazing, like, we were made to be significant in the lives of other people. And that's never going to happen if you don't believe that about yourself. And that's not an ego thing, but you were made to be significant in the lives of people around you, just like they were made to be significant in your life. And when you believe that about yourself, you actually it's not about becoming great. It's just unlocking the greatness that already lives inside you. And so it's there. If you believe in it, then you can actually start to live it out. And I think on the other side of that adversity, on the other side of that doubt, is where the real magic happens. Like, if you can, the lessons that you will learn and the person that you realize that you become as you battle through that adversity, as you battle through difficult moments and choose to believe anyway, like, things are hard. Life is difficult. There are frustrations. You can find 1,000 reasons to not believe. Believe anyway. And then watch the magic that happens as you battle through those seasons. And you realize, like, man, what if I had let doubt win? What if I had given up? What if I had bailed? I wouldn't be experiencing this in this relationship, in this team, in this organization, in this life, whatever it is. Those things don't happen if you let doubt win.
That's right. Great reminder. Thank you, Kevin. It's always good. Well, I'm gonna let us go. I hope that all of you here on the chat, it looks like everybody's from the U.S. that I see on the chat today. So I know that you will want to spend time with your families and with your friends, whatever you're doing today. I hope it's a great one. I I know for me as a guardian pioneer, my little checkoff list and doing things is important to me. But today I'm have a mindset of putting all that aside now that this is, we're almost done with this live stream, and I'm going to really just be present with those that I love and people that are coming over today. So I hope you all can do the same if that's what you're doing today, spending time with people. So Kevin, as always, thank you so much. I can't wait for another Monday with you next week. For those of you who can join us tomorrow, not me and Kevin, but Chris Ediger and I, Accelerate Your Consulting. Our live stream at 3 o'clock Eastern on Tuesdays is all about why being teachable is key. So I hope you can join us, or if you have colleagues that are in the consulting world, let them know about that. So happy Monday, everybody. Happy Labor Day. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.